How's punters? Welcome back to BSBZA, and today I'm not doing any gameplay. I need to talk about a very important topic, which is scams, because there are so many players out there who have been getting scammed. What I'm going to be doing is running through a couple of the scams that are going on at the moment, what to look out for, and what you guys can do to avoid being scammed by these scalums. So the first kind of scam I'm going to go through is the deposit scam. Now there are a couple of these. I'm going to go through two examples. One of them is very recent, but the first and I think the most common one, which a lot of players out there will have experienced, is on a dollar casino. So you'll probably have seen an ad for an awesome sign up bonus. You just sign up and you get like a couple of grand or a couple of $100 for free in dollars, and you'll play and play and play, and you can't stop winning on these sites. You are just crushing it, picking up max wins, picking up big wins. The next thing you know it, you're sitting with maybe $10,000. But the scam is they're going to ask you to deposit between $80 and $300 in order to verify your account so that you can make a withdrawal. Guys, this is absolute nonsense. It's a pure scam. I've done a fair bit of research on it. I found out there are a few forums that are reporting on this, and unfortunately there are thousands of sites that are using the same template to scam the players. So firstly, don't play on a dollar casino. It's not licensed in South Africa. It's unregulated, and you're more than likely to get scammed. Yes, there are maybe some dollar sites that will pay you out, some legit ones, but once again, they aren't licensed. So I would just recommend you stay away from any dollar betting sites, period. And if they're asking you for a fairly large deposit in order to withdraw your money, nah, stay away. The second scam that I've seen recently is one that's actually focused on rands. A few players contacted me about this and actually posted it up on Instagram. Unfortunately, I don't want to mention the site's name, but it starts with OK. Go figure with that one. And this site is going to give you 87 or 86 Rand free when you sign up. And once you want to make a withdrawal on the winnings, because you know you've once again had an amazing streak somehow and you've won a couple of $1,000, they're going to ask you for a 300 Rand withdrawal. Once again, this site is a scam. I went into the site, I actually checked. They're not even bothering by putting a fake license up there or a license that's outside of South Africa. At the bottom, there's just absolutely nothing. It's just a whole lot of nonsense in the footer of the site. That was the first red flag. The second red flag was that you needed to deposit 300 Rand to make a withdrawal. Now, there are a lot of betting sites in South Africa, licensed ones, that are going to ask you to do a minimum deposit in order to withdraw bonus funds. So all you need to do to check if you're being scammed or not is simply go down to the bottom of the site, take a look, and at the foot of the site, you'll see a disclaimer. It'll say, site XYZ is licensed in Mpumalanga or Northwest or Western Cape or KwaZulu-Natal. If you see that it is licensed in one of the provinces in South Africa, it is a legitimate licensed site. Now that doesn't mean that the site is perfectly safe to play on, because there are a couple of fly-by-night operations, but if you get scammed on a site like this, you do at least have recourse with the relevant gambling board. As I mentioned earlier, there are some sites that might ask for a deposit that are licensed. The max this will ever be is 50 bucks. Do not make a deposit of anything more than 50 Rand. If you guys aren't sure, ask your friends, reach out to me on Instagram. But most of the time, they will not ask you to deposit more than 50 bucks. The third type of scam, I'm seeing quite a lot of this unfortunately, is people using my content on TikTok Live. Guys, that is not me. I've done many posts about it on Instagram, on YouTube, all over the show, saying that it's not me. I don't do lives. Basically, what these guys are doing is they're cutting content from my YouTube channel, especially on Hot Fruit, and they're offering, I think it's something like 220 spins. If you sign up with their link, don't even click on that link, please, because you're giving away all sorts of information. And what they're probably going to do is take the information that you gave them and try and log into other betting sites with your account information, because unfortunately there are a lot of people out there that use the same password for lots of sites. So yeah, I'm not live on TikTok. There's another one called Boozman that has actually taken images from my Instagram and Facebook, and they've animated it and they've put a fake Rob voice in there saying if you sign up you're going to get X and Y. Guys, I don't endorse any of these sites, so please stay away. No, it's not me. So let me quickly run through a few of the things that you guys need to look out for if you think you are being scammed. The first one is to go down to the bottom of the site, check the footer, see if they are licensed in South Africa. If they don't have a license there, stay away. If they're licensed in Curacao or overseas or something like that, stay away. The second thing is, if they're asking for a large deposit in order to make a withdrawal, you know it is a scam. What's going to happen is that you are going to make that deposit and you are not going to get anything back. I do have a sad story from someone that reached out to me on Instagram, which kind of inspired me making this video. They asked me, is the site a scam? I said, yes, bruh, 100%, please stay away. He said, yeah, they're asking for 300 Rand to deposit. I really need the money. I think they'd won something like 1.5 grand. I said, no, dude, it's a scam. Here's the evidence. A couple of days later, he came back to me and he said, yeah, you were right. It was a scam. My wife said, oh, but what if it's real? He made the deposit. I think he was using a voucher, whatever it was, and he lost that money. And they were asking him for another deposit in order to withdraw. So there are many sad stories out there. Please don't become a statistic and stay away from these scam sites. And yeah, that wraps it up, guys. Stay safe out there. Hope you found this informative, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Cheers.